To tell here with really coming up featherweight prospect 10-0, 10 knockouts, coming off a first round knockout about 10 days ago in his hometown of New Jersey in Newark, fighting on that ProBox TV card. And man, first of all, how you doing, Keith? What's going on? Brick City in the house.
What's going on? What's going on? All is well. Feel blessed. Appreciate you for having me, man.
Always, man. Well, okay, before we get started, I am in Unk status now. And so I gotta ask, are you messing at all with that Red Man? That's the best rapper out of Newark ever, man. You watching any Sopranos? How far
Of
back are you going
course.
in your New Jersey culture? Oh, you are. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Of course, of course. I'm tapped in. The thing is, that's not my how can I say that's not my era. However, my support system is, that's their era. That's a lot of the old heads, a lot of the unks, they rock with me because they saw me grow up from a kid to who I am now, and that's their era. So they always ask like, "Yo, when you gonna come out the red, man?" So they keep me intact with it.
I tried to a couple years back. I tried to pass it off on Shakur. I go, bro, when you gonna come out with Red Man? He's like, nah, I don't, I don't fuck with that Red Man, But maybe there's hope for you. There's hope for you, right? Maybe one
Yeah,
day.
there is
He's a
for
fan of
sure,
boxing
there is.
too, so.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Mhm.
that. Well, yeah, but that's something that definitely, if it makes sense for him, it makes sense for me for sure. He's one of the North legends.
Yeah, and you said you were messing with Little Sopranos too, or no? Not the.
Yeah, I watched it like years ago. Now, I ain't really, I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, you get some downtime in between fights. You looking to binge a show. I would recommend The Sopranos. So,
You know what? Yeah, I'll take you up to it. I'm gonna check it in once I get in the crib today. Watch, I'm gonna check it out.
all right, brother. But we'll get serious now with the boxing. So, you stopped Morales in the first round. Did you get a chance to listen to the commentary on the fight? What'd you think of guys like Paulie and Chris Algieri and Christina Poncher talking up the accuracy, the snap, and as they said, no fat on those punches. What'd you think of their assessment of your fight?
Yeah, no, I definitely checked out the broadcast, and I agree. That's what I work on in the gym. Just making sure everything is sharp, even if it's not super fast or super hard. Just making sure I'm sharp in the ring at all times. Even if I want to take a break or even if I want to start slow, I'm not going to start lazy. I'm not going to be in there just nah. I'm a disciplined fighter at all times. So I agree with them, and I appreciate they insight, recognizing what I work hard on.
Yeah, because to recap the fight, man, you come out with the jab, with the rangefinder, changing a little bit of speeds on it, sometimes touching with it, sometimes snapping it in there. Then you chop him over the top with the right hand. Now he's worried about the right hand, so you lead with the hook to the body and to the head a little bit, and then you clean him up with a combination. How does a young fighter like you right now go about adding tools to the tool set? Cutting the distance with head movement, Canelo style, pull counters on the outside, getting on your toes when you need to, and fighting like that. How does a young fighter go about adding tools to those bags?
Man, you just gotta be a student of the game. You gotta be a true student of the game. You gotta appreciate the art of boxing. A lot of fighters, they just want to get in the gym, do pad work, record YouTube videos, Instagram videos, try to go viral on TikTok. And that's cool, But at the same time, if you really want to make it far in the sport of boxing, you got to be a true student of the game. You got to appreciate the boring aspect of boxing. I go watch Willie Pep, fights, and I'm not even looking at any punches. I'm just zoomed in on his feet. So like these sort of things is the things that I appreciate in boxing, and I feel like that's what makes me different from fighters is because for me it's much more than just punches being landed and punches being missed. It's the little aspects. It's how he made a miss by just a little bit, or how he got out of the way and he didn't have to move his head. He just took a step back and the punch just came up short. Or just the control, the the control and controlling his opponent in the clinch. Like these aspects of the game, that's what I appreciate, and I feel like that's what make a good fighter a great fighter.
Yeah, I think my guy Tim Bradley in the clinches, he calls it posting and framing, different things,
Exactly.
and then positioning on the outside, like you're talking about, and actually what you're talking about when it comes to making a fighter miss without even having to move your head. Shakur did a lot of that against
Yup.
Tiafimo, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And that these aspects of the game is just some of it could be just second nature to some, but for others they have to work on it. And like for example, like the Shakur Stevensons, he's an advocate of that. He always had great reflexes, so some things just come natural to him, but to others, it is not natural. This is something that they have to work on. This is something that they have to drill hundreds of hours in the gym nonstop every single day, and that's just a grind.
Are you saying you're the latter? You're the kid who has to drill it in. Not necessarily all these things you're adding come natural to you, like you said with Shakur and his anticipation.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm a Andre Ward type of fighter. You know, not trying to say I'm Andre Ward or anything like that. I'm saying it as far as we don't have crazy speed, but we have good speed. We don't have crazy power, we have good power. We don't have crazy fast feet, but we got good feet movement. We don't have the craziest head movement, but we a little bit slick. So, however, we still gotta put in the hours in the gym to become great because we're gonna get in there against fighters that has more power than us one day, that's faster than us. For example, when he went up against Kovalev, Kovalev was a bigger puncher than him, and
Mhm.
so, but he had to adjust. He had to go in there and really dig in his toolbox. And you saw the hours of training that he put in. It came out in his fight when he was victorious. So I'll compare myself to Andre Ward. And it's like I have a lot of great attributes, but I'm not like exceptional at just one thing.
No, it's interesting you say that, man, because the guy that Andre studied a lot, one of the most fighters he studied the most was Bernard Hopkins. And Bernard
Hopkins.
said, I'm not, he said, I have good talent. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have some gifts, but I'm not James Toney or Roy Jones. And
Exactly.
he outlasted them by doing the stuff you're talking about, which I think you gave a great quote, studying the boring aspects. I mean, it's one thing to watch Sugar Ray pop a 10
Right.
punch combo, but yeah, yeah. So I think it's interesting you said that, Keith. Um,
Appreciate that.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's really the art of boxing, because we all born with natural attributes. Some is not visible. Some of us is born with the ability to adjust, like Floyd. They just able to adjust. Some are born with the ability to pick up on patterns, which is great in a 12 round fight. Some is like American, crazy hand speed. However, what makes the great fighters is the ones that are that with their natural attributes they try to fill in every single hole in their game. And, that's what I'm a fan of. I'm a true student of the game, so to say.
So 10 fights into it, and I think last time we spoke, you said, I could do a lot more than the things I'm showing so far, coming forward and being smart coming forward, but coming forward. What would you say you're now developing an identity as a pro 10 fights in, and what is that identity you think you're building towards?
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely building an identity. I feel like the identity that I'm putting out right now is still it's not complete, and I appreciate that because going into 10 fights, my opponents they don't really know how much I'm able to bring to the table because they only can see the knockouts. So it's good. It's good in hindsight for me. Um, yeah, so that I'll keep it there.
Guevara, he had fought some good competition. He was able to extend you some rounds, unlike your last fight. So at 10-0, 10 KOs, what kind of step up opposition do you need right now for the rest of the year, for the next couple fights, to get the rounds in, to get the looks you need to improve?
Yeah, right now just the contenders, the former world title holders, the fighters that are contended for the world title. Those are fights that we chasing. Those are fights that we trying to get. For this fight, we almost had it. It's just the boxing logistics, man. Just as far as like our first opponent, he kind of got held up with the contracts, and somebody else presented him a world title fight, and so he took it. Not mad at him. My second opponent, it was like visa issues, and that just wasn't a risk that we was willing to take. Because come fight night, he could have got snatched up and fight was off, and that's
Hmm.
way out of our control.
Hmm.
So we just went with the third best option. But to answer your question, the former contenders, former title holders, these are the fights that we try and chase. The 20-1s, the 20-2s, the 20-3s. These not just the journeyman. Not those type guys.
Got you. Now, no disrespect to Edgar Berlanga because he's made a shit ton of money and he's fought at the highest level, sold out Las Vegas main event against Canelo, and he went 12 rounds in that fight. But he was another Puerto Rican kid starting off hot, 100% KO ratio. And even though, despite the good things I've just said he has accomplished, ultimately not a world champion. We'll see if that ever happens. Why is Keith Colon in that sense not the next Edgar Berlanga, the next Puerto Rican kid with a 100% KO ratio who's gonna hit a wall once the competition steps up?
I just say I'll put it to you like this, right? In the amateurs, I started from zero. I started from a kid that didn't know how to move his head to not knowing how to box, only knowing how to punch, to a well-developed amateur fighter at the highest level and the international level. And I always told my team if I was able to make it in the amateurs, I could make it in the pros for sure. And I'm showing each and every fight why I'm different. Like Edgar, we quote unquote have the total package: the fan base, the popularity, the boxing, persona, and good skills to go with it. However, I'm a real boxing like fiend. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I really study the sport. I don't. I'm not cool with somebody beating me at all. And if yeah, I'm not cool with somebody beating me at all. Like even in the gym, even my last fight, I was in the back locker room. Like I just did all that hard work. I ain't have fun in the ring. I want better comp. I want better competition. And they was like, yo, stop being mad. Enjoy your victory. You worked hard. But at the same time, for me, I'm competitive. I want to be in there. I want to be in a good fight. I want to show my skills. I want to have fun. And I feel like that's the difference. Is I'm a true like boxing fan. Well, I'm not gonna say boxing fan, but I'm a true boxer. I'm a true boxer at heart.
Student of the game. You
Student of the game.
right,
Exactly.
right. No, I got you. And well, do you think you'll be able to maybe, I'm not sure how it works logistically, promotion wise, but do you think there's a chance you can fight on the Xander Boots card?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we pulling for. That's the goal. If I'm able to get on that card, man, we gonna make it the biggest card, the biggest undercard. I don't care who else is on there. It's gonna be just like how it is, just how good it is for me to fight on their card. It's gonna be the same thing for them because they're gonna get a lot of local heat. Did the camera switch?
No, you're good.
All right. Yeah, they're gonna get a lot of local heat. They're gonna get a lot of diehard Puerto Rican fans. And the crazy thing about it is not only is my fan base like majority Puerto Rican, but I got fan base from Jersey all the way to PA. So a lot of people gonna be coming with Jerron Ennis, and a lot of people gonna be coming on sign with Zaya. So it's gonna be a good mix. And I feel like I'm the perfect fighter to have on that card.